Hey everybody, hold on a second.
Only gone up 5%. And would you contribute that to part of the tech boom? As you see these tech companies coming in, they're doing a lot for the local economy, but they're also bringing in.
You there in a sec, everybody? You gotta love how the Raiders took the New York Jets apart. I mean, no other way to put it than that. Welcome to Zennie62 Live. Not from the Coliseum for a change. Although I had a great day. I had a great day. Didn't have a lick of alcohol at all. So, just not my thing anymore. Sorry. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And how about, I'm going to go over the statistics in a second once everybody comes on in, settles down, takes a deep breath, you know the drill, and hangs out and has a good time. And I don't want to hear my own voice. There we go. Rick Rice, how you doing? M.L. Scott, how you doing? Score is wrong on the title. It was 45-20, and guess what? I'm going to correct that right now. Thank you very much for that. Right here. And it is, boom, Raiders 45, Jets 20. Got it. Thank you. Thank you very much. Corrected and copied. And you know, I didn't tweet anything out, so I haven't screwed up anything there. And gonna put Oakland Raiders in the meta tags here, and here, as well as NFL, and then Oakland here, and then NFL and Las Vegas there. And all right, now view on watch page, and here we go. Boom. I wanted also to, let's see here. Got it. And corrected. And FYI, don't. There you go. Okay, now, I am going to pull up, I'll wait for some more people to come in so I'm not caught in this, hey, bring us up to date. So, queue up your questions and I'll get to them. And this is a double shares investment night, folks. Yes, double shares investment night. What that means, for those of you who are not initiated to this sort of drill, is that when you invest in Zennie62 via PayPal on this link right here, and where it marked invest, I send out shares to you. In fact, I'm backlogged. I have to send the shares. And what it means is that you'll get double those shares. Double, all right? So that's what that means. Now, M.L. Scott, how are you? I have a general question. Do you see the Raiders as the AFC's top contender for the Super Bowl? Yes or no? And of course, you can feel free to embellish your response with any other comment you want, or any kind of comment you want. I'd like to know your thoughts while I watch the number of people come in. Welcome to Zennie62. Harry Dunn says, looks like the fans showed up despite the uncertainty with the move pending. I'm pretty sure they will show up like that in Vegas after the novelty wears off. And Harry, I disagree. It's also one thing you're forgetting. The Raiders are going to be here 2017, 18, and 19. That's right. I'm going to repeat that. The Raiders will be here 2017, 18, 19. Maybe 2020. And there's no certainty the Las Vegas deal will pan out. I mean, right now you have, I'm going to put it this way. You should have better faith in Jesus Christ and God than you do the ability of the Raiders to get over the financial hurdle that comes with this. And I was talking about that with people at the game. Spent a lot of time talking, which is why I'm hoarse. And the general consensus is, hey, look, we really want them to work out something here. That's what Raider fans say. However, a lot of Raider fans do not know the details. Eddie, who's one guy I talked to, Zennie62 fan was kind enough to, well, a lot of people, you have to say one thing, is momentary digression. A lot of people come up and thank me for these vlogs, and I want to say a heartfelt thank you very much for your taking time to tell me how much you appreciate what is done here. Really, really means a lot to me. Now we're getting an answer. Rick Rice and Corvette. Corvette LS says, no, Pat's still the best AFC team. Rick Rice, answer is no. To be the best, you got to beat the best. We haven't played anybody yet, plus our defense still stinks. Harry Dunn has a ranking. Pats number 1, Chiefs number 2, Raiders number 3, Steelers number 4. Interesting. That's of the AFC teams. Anyone else? We only have 4 watching right now. Let's put out a tweet that asks for people to submit their top 5. I'm going to put this on Reddit as well, and LinkedIn, excuse me, as well. So, and then put it out to Raider Nation as well. So there it is. I've successfully shared it, and with Reddit, and here with Twitter, I will do now under Raider Nation. And you say, what is the it that I'm doing? I'm tweeting Raider. I almost wrote Reindeer Nation. Raider Nation. Raider Nation. All right. Boom. And boom. Okay. We've got Rick Rice. Donkeys look pretty impressive today. I'd put them in top 5 too. Hey, Rick Rice, I agree. They took the Cowboys apart, didn't they? Noah Cam says, I say Steelers and Raiders. Switch my opinion. Got it. Noted. Harry Dunn says, we lost to the Chiefs twice last year. Need to prove we can beat them. And Harry, I 1,000% agree with you on that. How I would also add this, that I remember, not last year, but the year before, Del Rio's first year, we also took apart the Jets then, and we looked like we were Super Bowl bound, and we wound up being 6-10. So, one game does not a season make, particularly if it's against these New York Jets. And I'm disappointed in Todd Bowles because I expected better performance from him, but he clearly has to shore up and find the right offensive coordinator. He's 0 for 2 in offensive coordinators. This Joe Morton guy is his current one, who's stinking up the place. And then it was Chan Gailey before that, who also stank up the place. So, I'm sorry. There's something about Todd Bowles where, as great a defensive coordinator as he has been, which is how he wound up being a head coach, he has not looked at getting a head coach that formed an offense that gave his past defense problems, okay? Someone maybe that coached under an organization like the 49ers, which, like Greg Roman or something like that, because Greg Roman definitely gave his defenses problems at Arizona from time to time, all right, when he was defensive coordinator. Why not Greg Roman? Something like that, right? It just doesn't, it boggles the mind to me. Now, I don't want to miss too many of your comments. Rick Rice says they need Norm Chow. Norm Chow. Hey, is Norm Chow living in Hawaii? Yeah, this is my club tag for the Raiders. Norm Chow lives in Hawaii. Is he still lurking around there, Rick Rice? And let's see here. GTL 5427 says, only caught pieces of the Raider game. Who was the backup running back who went off with a long run? Odds of a repeat performance. Actually, that was Cordell Patterson, if that's what you're talking about. Or you're talking about number 30. Harry Dunn says he's also has a 38-year-old backup quarterback starting to McCown, and it doesn't help either. I'm not concerned about age. I'm concerned about scheme. Age is meaningless to me. Scheme is. And Rick Rice says that was Richard GTL. Hennessy says still believe the Las Vegas deal will fell. Rick Rice says no idea. He got fired last year. No one's seen him since. Getting fired like that must be just agonizing. It really is. Welcome to Zennie62. Just starting my recap of today's Raider game and all that's gone on in the NFL. Glad to have you here. We're asking a question. I will repeat the question. The question is this. In fact, I'll write it down. Is this Raiders team one of the top, the top Super Bowl contender. Hey Barry Lee, top Super Bowl contender. That's the question. Yes or no, and why? That's the question of the day right now on my channel to you. And why am I talking like this? I'm trying to clear my throat. I've talked so much today. You can see on the videos, some of the talking that I did, that I'm hoarse. And not just today, but also Saturday night at the Cal game, yelling, go Bears, and roll on you Bears, roll on you Bears, and so on. You get the idea. So, we got, Henry says, not the top 5, but in the top. Not the top, but in the top 5. And Harry Dunn says, if the defensive line improves, like it did today, the Raiders will be a lot better on D this year. Barry Lee says, after what I've seen these past 2 weeks, hell yeah, because the talent is there. So Barry Lee gives us a vote of confidence. Now, I'm going to repeat that question for those who might come in and happen to see this. I would say question like that, and boom, there. Now, I'm going to extend. Rick Wright says, how do you think Garyon played? Rick, I didn't get a chance to really observe him because a lot of my time, you'll see on the videos, when you have a chance, was spent walking around, talking with people, and looking for really subject matter to put on vlogs, video blogs, and individual videos. So if Galen came in to replace Carl Joseph, I was interested in that. I was sitting with Maris Bradshaw for about a tick, and I had said to Morris, longtime Raider number 81, I said, hey, this means that Galen's coming in, right? He goes, well, he's a cornerback. I said, yeah, but he played safety at Ohio State, so I would think he would be a plug-and-play. And he said, well, I don't know, okay? So, anyway, Ken Yu says, no defense, Ned, and no defense needs to improve, says Ken Yu. Barry Lee says, did you see any signs of favor of Oakland staying home? Yeah, actually, I did see a few. And, of course, I saw the stay in Oakland by the tailgates out there. I saw a few, but there wasn't an effort to put them out there like there was last year. And there really should be, because the Raiders are here in Oakland, and it's, shameful that the city isn't doing anything to try to keep them. This has become too laid back a city in a number of different ways. Okay, now, too laid back. Let's see here. I'm going to just put out a little tweet here and get things going. Hashtag Raiders. Hashtag NFL. Hashtag Raiders. And let's see, do this Raiders like that. Boom. All right. So I don't believe that. Oh, the other thing that I have to note is this. Hey, Ms. Zeitgeist, how are you? The Raiders are the only California team. I repeat, the Raiders are the only California team. And I'll repeat one more time. The Raiders are the only California team to have a game that was obviously by photograph and by video sold out. Do you realize that? Think about it. The Rams, we saw what happened at the Coliseum when they played, really a Buffalo contest against the Colts last week. The Niners at home, oh, what a awful scene. Okay. The Chargers, whew, really? Are you kidding me? The Raiders, Marshawn Lynch is rocking the place. People are happy, dancing. They yell and scream in unison. Raiders. I mean, you cannot convince me that atmosphere could be just replicated anywhere else, let alone a new stadium in Las Vegas. It just isn't happening. That place is magical. It is just plain magical. And to want to give it up, let alone think that it can be replicated somewhere else, when it's going to be more costly for anybody to attend that game in Las Vegas in this instance, is lunacy. There's no other way to put it. Lunacy. As Corvette says, Vegas is for gambling. And Ms. Like Guy says, I don't think their D is good enough to talk about the Raiders. Their explosive offense masks their bad defense. Corvette says, nope, D not good enough. And we're only 2 weeks in. We need to see more of the product and ask again after 6 weeks. And to repeat Gorvis's classic chat remaining, Vegas is for gambling. Harry Dunn says, if the Raiders win the Super Bowl this year, do you think the city would do more to keep them in Oakland? I do, Harry. It'll be a natural response because people would be forcing it. It'll be the talk. And politicians love the limelight. They love to hug anything that gets the limelight. So, yeah, Ken Yu says Mark Davis is foolish. Only one Oakland. There's only one Oakland. That's right. And, well, the NFL allowed it, okay? So you have to say the NFL allowed it. Now, we've got, excuse me, Oakland 45, New York Jets 20. And I'm going to go and put this on. By the way, if you're watching this and I have a Facebook page, on the count of 5, I want you to take your link to this, which is up, your video link, and put it on your Facebook page. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, go. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. All right. And I'm going to go over what Barry Lee says. Barry Lee said, it's more than magical. It's blood and passion. Hey, Barry Lee, would you send your tweet? Could you tweet it out, please? # Raiders. Thank you. And Rick Collins says, you're right, Barry Lee. He says, Barry Lee said, it's more magical. It's more than magical is what Barry Lee said. It's blood and passion. And he's right. It is blood and passion. He's right. Harry Dunn says, was Mark Davis at the game? I wonder what he was thinking if the whole stadium dancing when Lynch was dancing. That's a good question. I know he was at the game. Ms. Zeitgeist says, I saw John Middlecoff post on Twitter that Bay Area team ratings were way down for the Raiders. Mark is reaping what he sowed. Well, how would he know that Bay Area TV ratings are way down for the Raiders if the ratings for this game haven't been released yet? That doesn't make any sense. This is the first home game. The only comparison that one has is, the away game against the Titans, which isn't a great draw, and then, or attention getter, and it's not a division battle, so you don't expect great ratings there. And then there's preseason. So it's too early for anybody to make that call. That's ridiculous. That's absolutely ridiculous. And so, Barry Lee says, that's what I feel when I see and hear the Raiders. Corvette says, Raiders are family, and the family lives in Oakland. Yep. Steve Collins says, there's nothing like a Raider game at home. Nothing. I quite agree. Hey, for those of you just joining us, welcome to Zennie62. Here is the question of the day, all right? That is the question of the day. Is this Raider team the top Super Bowl contender? Yes or no, and why? That is the question, okay? That is the question. For those of you who have a view, bring it on. By the way, I can't tell you what we talked. Thank you, Barry. I can't tell you what we talked about, but I will say that I had a great conversation with JT the Brick. And I've known JT, since 1995, somewhere in there. And at least where I was first acquainted with him from his Jim Rome style radio show. He's a hardworking man, a nice fellow, and I think deserving of the accolades he gets. He works for the Raiders. He gets treated like crap sometimes, and he's really a kind man. He has a gruff image, but he's really a kind-hearted man. I just want to say that about JT the Brick. He's a friend for a long time. And, he and I don't agree with him about the Vegas thing. Of course, he works for the company, but we have never been disrespectful to each other, ever, all right? Now, Ms. Zeitgeist says the Raiders are TV ratings were 10-5 and they playing better than they have in years. Um, but Ms. Zeitgeist, the Raiders TV ratings for tonight are not out yet. So again, you can't say that. I mean, for a home game, this is a home opener against the Jets. You can't say that. So I'm not even buying it at all. And Shops TV says I'm not a Raider fan, but when y'all Oakland, where were y'all when Oakland was struggling? I was fans, and I might add, a lot of times Oakland was struggling during those back years. There wasn't YouTube and live stream for much of that time. Just letting you know, and I wasn't in that business. Now I am. Just happens to be a confluence of things. And Shaps TV says, I'm not a Raider fan, but where were y'all? Okay, I got that one. Kim News says, anyone know why there's no post game on NBC Sports Bay Area? Miss Henry and Romo, probably money. Barry Lee says, he will never believe the ratings. Harry Dunn says, so going back to the JPA meeting this week, is that October 20th meeting the do or die date for a lawsuit vote? No, it's not. Ms. Zeitgeist says that was from last week, and that's my point. The Raiders-Titans is not a game a lot of people are going to stop and watch, okay? They're just not. Now, this week, all right, let's check it out. Hennessy says, I would like to see Mark Davis get on the mic at the Coliseum and explain why he wants to leave this magical place. He owes us that much. I quite agree. Also, I'll say something to Zeitgeist about, well, let me check something. Excuse me. Sorry. I'm going to check something really quick. No, he's new to it, Barry Lee. That's okay, I'm just want to check something. Ratings 2017. And I know what they say. Let's see here. Raiders smash Chargers, Rams. Chargers TV ratings in San Diego triple LA figure for preseason. Interesting. And let's see here. We don't have anything. That was September 1st. And it said the Oakland Raiders, that was the LA Chargers. We haven't played the LA Chargers yet. Oh, okay. I see. All I know is this, according to those were old numbers. I've got this to just do TV ratings 2017 local. How about local TV ratings? I'm looking this up myself because I don't like to quote a media person on these at all. At all. And let's see, sports TV ratings. What is today? Today is September 17th. All right. Let's see here. 2017 September. Okay. TV ratings, college football games, ABC The Win. And that's TV rating. TV by the numbers. TV by the numbers is a great source for ratings information. That's what I like to try. All right. And so I'm going TV by the numbers. I'm typing Raiders, and I'm waiting. And so NBC Sports coverage of Cardinals Raider game wins Sunday in metered market ratings. Raiders, Raptors, and Rebels. And I don't have anything reliable here yet from there. I will say this, however, Ms. Zeitgeist, that it's not, the whole point is that when you, let me explain this in an entirely other way to have this make sense, okay? And it's this. It's not that Raider ratings are lower, if they are, and I have to check that myself. I don't believe that they are, but they're still higher than anything else. Television ratings in general are down. That's across the board, not just for sports. People have turned away from television en masse, and they're more likely, when they watch television, to watch what one might call alternative programming, something on a channel that you never heard of, a special, okay? It's all that. But when you look at the overhead picture, the NFL still rules. The NFL is still appointment television for the masses. More so today than um, I would say as much today as it has been in the past. Not necessarily more so, but as much today as it has been in the past. So basically, the NFL's rule, basically the NFL's rule justifies the term, the same only different. And Ms. Zeitgeist, I don't know if you're listening to this or not, but I want you to pay attention to it from that perspective. That NFL, the NFL still rules the ratings. You can't find something else where that's done better than the NFL. You can only compare the NFL to itself, but it doesn't mean that the NFL is in trouble because the NFL is still on top. It's still drawing the advertiser dollars, and it will for the foreseeable future. I would say the foreseeable 6 years. The reason why I say that is because people just this year are starting to cut the cord in unprecedented numbers. And cutting the cord means lower cable subscriptions numbers, which impacts the NFL's bottom line. Because that means that organizations like ESPN cannot pay the gigantic rights fees of up to $22 billion that has fueled the NFL. Okay? So we've got the Cowgirls. No, I've got a new nickname for the Dallas Cowboys. I call them the Dallas Clown Boys. Ken Yu says they never renewed their contract for the post. And Barry Lee says, I hope I'm not getting a cold. I have a cold, Barry. Rick Rice says, no more Romo in his hyperbolic chamber. Hyperbaric chamber. Thank you. You made me say it, Rick Rice, doggone it. Barry Lee says, yeah, the Cowgirls had to make me wait for my new favorite show to start, The Orville. Is that a good show, Barry Lee? Corvette says, Sunday Night Football for Raiders next week. Ooh, can't wait. Rick Rice can't wait. Corvette can't wait, and I can't wait. And Rick Rice says, when we win, I want to see DCL. You like that? Into the camera. Donis says, hey, Donis, how are you? Welcome. Hey, folks, since you're one of a number to join us, welcome to Zennie62 live, and I have a question for you. Here's the question of the day. I'm writing it right now, question. And, yeah, boom. There's the question of the moment right there. And Pedro Gallardo says, or asks rather, if the Raiders are selling out games, why keep Mount Davis tarp up? That's a great question. I think it has to do with driving the overall ticket prices up and assuring a better rate of purchase of tickets at that price. Exclusivity and availability, that sort of thing. And so Nick Z says Raiders 34, Skins 21. Donis says maybe too soon. Okay. Barry Lee says, oh good, Zenny. It's so funny, and the way they pokes fun at Star Trek, yes, talking about the Orville TV show, and yes, it's a very good sci-fi drama /drama show. Rick Rice says, all I know for sure is that the AFC is far better than the NFC this year. Does that include the Bucks and the Falcons? Nick Z says, yes, they are a contender for sure, but the division will be super tough to win this year. Interesting answers. Okay, again, for those of you who haven't seen the question, here it is. Question. There's the question. You can type in your answer, or you can just say, yeah, yes, Y or no. Y for yes, N for no, right? You can put that in there. And Y for S. Did I just say that? Ugh. Y for yes, N for no. 831 Scott. Sad, this is 831 Scott chatting. Sad that there weren't any stay in Oakland sides of the stadium today. I saw 2. Forever Oakland should have a ton of them printed out and give them to people as they enter the stadium. Well, really, I want to clear up something here. Forever Oakland and Stay in Oakland are separate organizations that don't talk to each other but should. Overall, there is, you know what the biggest problem of all is? It's how fragmented Raider Nation is. people not talking to each other for some of the really stupidest reasons I've ever heard of in my entire life. And I refuse to buy into it. I want to like everybody in Raider Nation. I want everybody in Raider Nation to like, or at least respect what I do. You have to like me. But if you're going to dislike me because I did something to you that's bad. But don't dislike me for my opinion. I don't dislike a person for their opinion. For example, I love JT the Brick like a brother. He has a different view than I do. That's the way I play the game. So, we've got Corvette says, yeah, primetime games. Set up a projector in my garage. Have people over for barbecue and get to watch over 100-inch screen. Can't wait for Sunday night. Justin Thaw says, no. The Raiders, wow. I mean, get this. Justin lost his answer to this question. Is this Raider team the top Super Bowl contender, yes or no? He said no. He says, I love them, but they don't have good enough defense. 831 Scott repeats, no, defense isn't good enough. A lot of people on down on defense. Wow. Wow. And how about those Cal Bears? Barry Lee says, I saw on CBS pregame show they said Jerry Jones' influence on the contract committee has complicated contract talks with Roger Goodell. And, Jerry Jones, that's really sad. And I believe, but I'm going to do a real outreach of a guess. I think that Roger's initial objection to Las Vegas and attempts to throw a monkey wrench into that have a little bit to do with Jones' opposition. Of course, the other part of it is how the Ezekiel Elliott situation was handled in the court. Okay, that's wild. That's wild. Joseph Binsman says, yes, everything depends on. Excuse me, I just missed that. Everything depends on Carr's health. He's in the lineup. They have a shot. Bet home field would help too. And Joseph Binsman also adds, wait, top Super Bowl contender? No. In that case, there are other teams I have ahead of them. Falcons and Chiefs, I believe, are better till I see otherwise. Chiefs just went to Foxborough and won. Thank you for reminding us. Rick Rice says, I'm talking about from top to bottom. All the AFC West teams are beating up the NFC East teams so far, like the Chiefs beating up the Eagles and the Donkeys over the Cowgirls, or as I would prefer, the Donkeys over the Dallas Clown Boys. That's my new nickname. That's right. I'm going to write that down. The Dallas Clown Boys. Clown Boys. There you go. The Dallas Clown Boys. There we go. The Dallas Clown Boys, all right? So anyway, we've got, let's see here. Jerry Lee says, Jerry believes his new contract is too much according to CBS. Interesting. I think Roger Goodell deserves every penny. Justin Toss says, glad to see after all the drama, Coliseum was still rocking. Wasn't it though? Oh, what was so nice. Rick Rice says, and Pats beat up Saints and Steelers beat up the Vikes. Okay. I get you. But I didn't say the Steelers. Excuse me, I didn't say the Vikings myself. Or the Saints were the darlings of the NFC. All right? Now, let's see how they handle the Bucks or the Falcons. Okay? And I'm going to throw it out there because some of you are going to laugh, but let's see how they handle the Panthers. Okay? So, I'm not ready to concede that one yet. Joseph Binsman says the Broncos look like they could be back in the hunt this year. Yeah, that's from the brief stuff that I saw from the Vikings video. I agree with you. And, the Niners are stinking up the place. My God, for all of the hullabaloo about the return of the Bill Walsh offense, partly my fault. Boy, they are stinking up the place. Oh, boy. And Joseph Binsman said AFC West looks loaded. Poor Chargers. Kicker, though. Ha. Ms. Zeitgeist writes this. I have a question. Does Roger Goodell have any say in what team gets primetime TV slots? It seems like the Cowboys are on every primetime TV slot. It's more of a committee, Ms. Zeitgeist, than the commissioner. Rick Rice says, Donkeys beat up the... I'm changing this, Rick Rice. Donkeys beat up the Clown Boys. Remember, the Clown Boys. The Dallas Clown Boys. All right? And a prime example. Okay. 831 Scott writes, the Raiders have great linebackers, but the D linemen just don't get any pressure up the middle. Technique, man! And because of that, teams just double up on Mack and take him out of the equation. Yep. Well, except against Tennessee, Jack Conklin on several occasions handled Khalil Mack all by himself. Justin Law says, and Andy Reid is a wonderful regular season coach, but just wait until the playoffs start. Rick Rice says, Koo is the Korean Aguayo. Oh, boy. Ooh. Talking about the ex-Bucks kick that was the ACC leader in accuracy, but came into the league and went mainly because he got married at the same time. And I really believe that his focus on the domestic part of his life took focus off the professional part of his life, and the professional part of his life started to suck. So, Barry Lee says Dak Prescott took a beating today because the Clown Boys, thank you very much, the Clown Boys couldn't protect him. So if they don't improve, Prescott will get injured. Yep. Ms. Zeitgeist says, how about them Clown Boys? The Dallas Clown Boys. Instead of a star, instead of a star helmet, right? Put a clown helmet on there. Clown Boys. Dallas Clown Boys. Barry Lee says, how about Carr today? Pretty damn good if you ask me. How about Todd Downing and that pretty damn good game plan, if you ask me. Jacob P says, I was at the game. Yeah, I enjoyed it. You were at the game. Man, I would have loved to have seen you put it on. I saw Mike Lowry there. Mike Lowry at the game. Gave him a video shout out as well. Mike Lowry. That was a lot of fun to see him. Mike Lowry. Do another round of tweeting. And right now, share. See if I can rouse the people up in Vegas a bit. Hashtag Las Vegas. I wonder if I put hashtag Las Vegas Raiders just to be obnoxious. Like that. There we go. I just did it. I'm poking. Well, I can't call them a bear because they're not large a group. Maybe I just say I'm poking the cub. Anyway. Oh, this is a good... Jordan Yancey. How are you, Mr. Yancey? Yes, this is Jordan Yancey, right? Yes, their high-powered offense can play with any defense. And the Raiders' defense will get better as the season goes on, guaranteed. Ooh. Rick Rice says, looked like a scrimmage game for Carr today. If he wanted to push, he could have thrown for 400 yards and 5 TDs. Justin Toss says, does anyone still believe that Dallas has the best O-line in football? I like the Raiders line. Von Miller went crazy today, Zennie. I got to see that game. Because, yeah, I do believe the Cowboys have the best line. But, look, plays matter. And it sounds to me, just on first reading, the Broncos had that game plan that could hurt the Cowboys. They blitzed a lot, okay? So, excuse me, what? They blitzed a lot. They blitzed a lot, all right? Joker P says, I was surprised when they didn't take Carr out in the fourth quarter. How about you, Zennie? I think they just wanted to make a statement. And also, the Raider people I talked to around didn't feel like it was their best effort, even with what happened. So, it wasn't that situation where they felt, okay, we could take him out now because we are completely safe. That was the feeling among Raiders headquarters types. All right. And Rick Rice says, Mike Lowry from Bad Boys? No, Mike Lowry from here, this channel. Barry Lee says, I believe Dallas has a darn good offensive line. Just kidding. No, I believe that they do. And they'll go back and look at that game plan, and they will show up what was done to them. They will show up what was done to them. Because, look, someone else is going to copy whatever it is they did to achieve that kind of success. And I'm telling you, they did something a little bit different. They had to. And McKinsey says, I can't even say the words Vegas Raiders. It sounds like a forced arranged marriage. Jordan Yancey said, they manhandled Dallas offensive line. They play 8 in the box to stop Elliott. You just said it. They played 8 in the box. But how? I have to look at that defense myself and see what they did, okay? I have to see what they did myself. Because I'll go back and look at I got to be careful how I do that. Because the NFL has these weird rules. But I can look at it and I don't have to post it, all right, in terms of the video. well, not real rules. It has to do with news commentary and them trying to steal my ad revenue. Excuse me, stuff. Wow, sorry. Guess I am catching cold. I was at 237, row 9, seat 13. Well, really, it was seat 12 because some girl was sitting in seat 13, but that was fine. You know how the game is, and you're not. No one is exactly in the seat that they should be in, right? Sometimes they are, most of the time, but not all the time. Especially if you bought the tickets off StubHub or something like I did. Jordan Yancey says they manhandled Dallas offense. They played in the box, got that one. And I thought I got those, all right? So let's see here. We've got, I'm going back to this TV ratings thing. I'm going to say TV ratings. Let's see what I come up with. Oh, TV by numbers. What else? Zap it. TV ratings deadline. TV parental. I'm trying to get, that's why you showed me like my head down. TV by the numbers. Weekly ratings. Let's see here. I need numbers here. This is bad. And what they have are posts. September 3rd. I just want lists, TV listings, TV ratings, daily ratings. Wow. Okay. Hold on, folks. Wow. I'm sorry. Oh boy, I do have a cold. I hate that. Oh, I hate that. Ugh. Ratings, variety. TV ratings, Nielsen. Nielsen ratings. Check to see what it looks like there. Oh, by the way. Oh, I don't want to know how you do it, Nielsen. Just freaking tell me what the numbers mean, okay? Local television market universe estimates. Nielsen sweeps months. Let's see here. How about this? Invaders. It's hard to find a great raw data list. It really is. Okay, that's not happening at all. Got this is bad. I'm talking about the information available here. Excuse my cold, folks. Sorry about that. Weekly, maybe TV ratings, Nielsen. TV ratings, top 10 lists. Hold on. Maybe we're getting somewhere. Discover what Americans are reading, watching, reading, playing, browsing, buying, and more. Let's see here. That's Arby's. Top 10 list for not what I want either. This really sucks. Top 10s. Nielsen.com. Still, TV. Those are advertisements. Broadcast network. TV. Okay. Well, let's see here. The week of August 21st. That's old. Talking about the primes. But even then, NFL was number 4 preseason game. I'm gonna wait. These numbers are horrible. I'm talking about in terms of their availability, right? They're just horrible. TV ratings for the NFL. Okay. This is TV ratings slump again. This is Bloomberg, but I want to see the data. NFL TV ratings slump again. Plans are pulled to cable news, Weather Channel, and opening week. That's the other problem. a week ago, last Sunday, we had Hurricane Harvey. And I know Hurricane Harvey took out.
We had the ratings decline in the NFL season last year. Do you agree with the diagnosis that it was kind of a one-off? You had the election that distracted a lot of people. There were weak matchups. The Colin Kaepernick taking the knee, turned off a lot of people.
I think that gives way too much credit to Mr. Trump.
Here's the thing. I don't want to hear that guy. All right. I would turn to CNN to watch updates on Hurricane Harvey because, and that was a big factor, because it was coming through Atlanta. If you think about the totality of Hurricane Harvey's damage, it went through Florida. Well, first there was Hurricane Harvey and then Irma. All right. So Harvey went through Texas, and then Irma went through Florida and Georgia. So that covered about arguably half of the southern United States. And so for those people who were in the southern United States, if your home is flooded, your power is out, you don't watch television. It's not happening. Okay? For those who know people down there but are not there, you're watching television to see if they're okay. That's going to take you away from the league. Okay? That's just a fact. So, is it fair to say NFL TV ratings are down and then say, oh, it's because the NFL is not popular? No. It's because we had last week a tremendous disaster. That's not true this week. So we need to wait a few days, let the ratings numbers come out, and then we can really see what's happening with the NFL without some natural disaster or election standing in the way. And I think that's a fair way to evaluate what's happening. And then I'll say this, even with a natural disaster and an election, NFL telecasts were still among the most watched. And again, ratings are down for many types of broadcasts across the board in general. Okay, that's just fact. So, that's just fact. Right there. I don't need to look at anything else. So we've got, Zennie, look up Elliott Denver game. Okay. Joseph Benz says, unrelated talk. I watched the first part of Ken Burns' The Vietnam War series, Zennie. It was well done. Okay, I'll check it out. Jacob P. says, Jerry Jones probably went to Roger Goodell and said that Atlanta game was one game that should be counted toward the Elliott suspension. And we've got 831 Scott says, pop the vitamin C, Zennie. It helps you recover from a cold faster. You know? You just gave me an idea. I'll be right back. Here's the question. I'm going to write for you to, for those of you who just arrived. Here's my question. All right, question. Right here. Is. All right. And as you're writing the answer question, I'm going to get some vitamin C. Hold on a second. All right, as you're writing your version of the answer to my question. Okay. Vitamin C. Ta-da! Vitamin C. Good idea, Rick Rice. Thank you. Just the thing to cure the cold. Well, it'll work on it, right? Thank you very much. Joe Yancey recommends apple cider vinegar. Joseph Binsman says Falcons handled the Packers. Impressive. Dota says bless you. And Jacob P says got it. And let's see here. Lamont Stolen says experience in coaching to what? Lamont, how are you? Lamont says answered, yes they are. The Raiders are ready. Dota says too soon. Joseph Binsman says yes, yeah. It's Jose and Maria. They are saying Maria will go over the islands already wrecked by Irma. Oh, jeez Louise. Oh, my gosh. And Donut says we're only in week 2. Yeah, but you can tell a lot, you know. Jacob P says no because it's too soon to call. The defense needs a little more, and then the offense needs to stay sharp. But hopefully, yes. Lamont Stone says if we stay healthy. Rick Rice says you're welcome. Talking about his suggestion that I get some vitamin C. Bing! Vitamin C. And Lamont Stone says good. Let's go back and check the statistics from the game. Hold on a second. And hold on. You've also got me wondering. Boy, Carolina 9, Buffalo 3. That's a baseball score. Baltimore won again. Cleveland lost again. Now, let's see here. We've got Tennessee 37, Jacksonville 16, Kansas City 27, Philadelphia 20. New England 36, New Orleans 20, Pittsburgh 26, Minnesota 9. Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Whoa, the Bears did score. They scored a touchdown. Oh, that's too bad. I was hoping that the Bucs would pitch that shutout. That's too bad. Wow, they were close. Miami beat... Oh, poor Miami. Excuse me. Poor Chargers. Man, they can't buy a win. This is the second straight week they've lost a close game. They lost the Broncos the final seconds of Monday night, right? And then they lose to the Chargers, which they were up on by a lot at one point. The Chargers lose to the Dolphins, which they were up on by a lot at one point, by 2 points, 19-17. Denver 42, Dallas 17. Washington won 27 against the Rams 20. Seattle 12, San Francisco 9. That's horrible. Boy, that's you know what? Excuse me. For the 49ers to post just 9 points, it's an insult. And of course, Green Bay 34, Atlanta 23. Excuse me, Atlanta 20. What's wrong with me? Get the cobwebs out, Zennie. Come on. This is supposed to help. Talking about the orange juice here. You're supposed to help. Atlanta 34, Green Bay 23. Atlanta 34, Green Bay 23. All right. Now. All right. Hey, John Marks, how are you? We've got... I'm going to go look at the... First of all, I'm going to go back and take another closer look at the Raider numbers before I dissect the incredible spanking the Broncos gave the Dallas Clown Boys.
Lucky for me,
All
there's
right.
some great golf here in the
And,
Carolinas. Whether you golf or not,
see if I
Geico
can-
could help you score some great savings on car insurance.
Kill that Geico guy. I mean, heck, Geico's not paying me.
Whoa.
Get out of here. You want to hear a Geico commercial? Geico, you want my viewers to hear your commercials? Pay me. Forget them, all right? Now, but I digress. We have, there we go, Oakland. Okay, excuse me. Mm. Boy, oh boy. We have 45-20. Here's the information. I'm going to go to the box score. Full box score. All right. For the Raiders, Derek Carr, wow, scintillating. He was 23 of 28, 230 yards, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions. That's got to be the high. That's got to net the highest passer rating you can get. That's really good. That's like, I think it's a 150, 58, I believe it is. Okay, it's really good. The leading rusher was Marshawn Lynch. He's 12 for 45 yards. Cordell Patterson had that 57-yarder. That was a sneaky play. Richard, number 30 we're talking about, had the 52-yarder. He was 58 yards, 1 touchdown. And Washington was 6 for 20. Receiving, Michael Crabtree had a hell of a game, didn't he? 6 for 80 yards, 3 touchdowns. Longest was 26 yards for a touchdown. Jordan Richards was 2 for 51 yards. Longest game was 39 yards. Amari Cooper 4 for 33. Mr. Cook was 4 for 25 yards. Longest was 10. On a rather nifty kind of pass out of the flat that they were practicing in training camp, and that has paid big dividends for the Raiders already this year. Really has. And Mr. Washington 3 for 15. Smith 1 for 9. Walford 1 for 7. Cordell Patterson 1 for 6. And Lynch 1 for 4. Patterson's interesting. I thought he'd see the ball more as a receiver than he has so far. Tavecchio, of course, kicking 1 for 1. Kickoff returns, Patterson 3 for 23 yards. And defense, we have, let's see here. Carey had 5 tackles. James 5. Let's see who the leading tackler was. It was Carey with 5. And James. Bruce Irvin had 3. Carl Joseph had 3. Khalil Mack had 3. Rick Nelson had 3. So, total first downs, 21 by rushing, 6 by passing, 13 by penalty, 2. Third down efficiency for the Raiders, a pretty nifty number of 66%, 2/3. Fourth down efficiency, they were, they didn't have fourth down attempts, so there's nothing there. Total net yards, 410 for the Raiders. 410 net yards. And they had total rushing and passing plays. They ripped off 55 plays, one more than the New York Jets. Average gain per offensive play, 7.5. Now, for the Jets, the average gain for offensive play was 5 yards. So there's a pretty good comparison of well, if you want to understand how well the defense of the Raiders did, you got to look at that stat right there. You just have to, okay? 27 rushing plays for the Raiders versus 25 for the Jets. You've got net yards passing for the Raiders, 230 for the Jets, 145. Derek Carr was never sacked, whereas the Raiders sacked the Jets' McCown 4 times, 4 sacks, 21 yards and losses. So that was a good outing for the Raiders to register 4 sacks. Was very good. Was good. It wasn't like it was good. 4 sacks in a game is good. 5 sacks in a game is really good. 6 sacks is like, wow. And then you get to 7 sacks. That's outrageous. Okay, and up. That's outrageous. All right. For the Jets, you had McCown right here. McCown was 17 of 25, 166 yards, 2 touchdowns, but no interceptions. Note that. Matt Forte, 9 of 50 for 53. McCown 4 for 31. Abe McGuire, 6 for 29. So basically, this is a story of, as Ms. Zeitgeist called it, the Raiders. What's this is? Sorry for some reason, folks, that the stream went out spontaneously. I don't know why that was, but I'm back. Don't know why screen froze. But I'm back. Okay. Giovanni says you were there a week ago for baseball, because this is a home opener. Jared Cook is a great addition. He's a baller. Yep. John Marks says Blues Clues Man song. Boom, boom, boom. We just learned that the Jets lost because they really suck. Justin Toss says, what about the Seattle audible by Carr? Then the first TD pass to Crab. That's a very good question. I don't know. Well, I'll ask and find out. I'll ask. Rick Rice says, seems like Cooper catches with his body, not with his hands. And the agreement is that, Cooper drops a lot of passes. I think the problem is that Cooper is not placed in a position where he's catching wide receiver screens or any type of pass that would get him warmed up into the action. Something that's a simple, short pass. And he's also not being featured. I mean, look, you got a situation where you're supposed to be the number one guy, and yet around you have Roberts emerging and getting the ball. You got Crabtree emerging again and getting the ball and doing great things after he catches his pass. You have Cook get tight end. You got Patterson as another wide receiver that can come out there and do damage. So I think that he doesn't understand, talking about Amari Cooper, that he is in a league where everybody is very talented, not just him. He's not the star as he was in Alabama, although he is by the fact that he was drafted in the first round. And he's not playing up to his potential. I think in part because of that, but also the other aspect has to be what we really don't know unless he puts it out there, and that's what's going on in his personal life. What happened with Robert Aguabe with the Bucks, if I'm pronouncing his last name correctly, the kicker who was with the Bucks, then with the Bears, and got cut. And come to find out, he was deep in the throes of planning a wedding with his girlfriend from college at Florida State. So this man's mind was divided, unquestionably. What's going on with Cooper in his personal life? Married, girlfriend? I don't know. In fact, let's check. Maybe there's something. And Giovanni says, when you get a chance, check out my latest video. All the best. I will do that. And Junta says, Zennie Conley is going to be a good one. I can feel it. Now, all right. I'm going to tweet this out again to get people back. I think some people probably thought that I was done. I'm not. But for some reason, the live stream went out. NFL. Okay. And then tweeting out once again. YouTube. This. Okay. Doing that. Alright. So we have here. John Mark says Conley gets comparisons to Jack Tatum. Oh, and it was A's stadium tour? Alright, gotcha. Hold on a second. This was a good idea. Rick Rice. Rick Rice isn't around to see that I'm taking his advice here. I'm saying back to everyone. Too bad I can't send an overall, message to people here saying, "Hey, I'm back." Can I? Manage moderators, pop out chat, timeout, toggle timestamps, send feedback. How do I do that? Send. Oh, let's see. Oh, cancel. All right, never mind. Okay. Welcome to Zennie62, folks, and my screen is freezing again. Let's see here. Why is this happening? All right. Okay, we're back. Apologize, folks. This live stream is being a little bit wiggy here. I don't know what's going on, so I think it's... Oh, your screen is fine, John Marks? Okay, good. All right. Okay. Let me see something here. I've read that one. Now I'm gonna go back and find out what happened with the Dallas Cowboys playing the Denver Broncos. Ooh. Okay. 42-17. And excuse me, I'm gonna watch some of the video from this because I didn't see all of the game at the Raider game. While the video's coming up, I'm gonna go to the statistics and watch that. Analyze the box score. And wow. Trevor Siemian, 22 of 32, 231 yards, 4 touchdowns, 1 interception. Dak Prescott, he was 30 of 50, 236 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. He threw a lot. Rushing, wow. You know what? All right. Hold everything. They had Dak Prescott throwing 50 times. They only gave Ezekiel Elliott the ball 9 times. The Clown Boys did. Dak Prescott outgained Ezekiel Elliott in total yards. Dak Prescott had 24 yards. Ezekiel Elliott had... Am I reading this right? He had 6. Ezekiel Elliott had 6 yards for the entire game. Did he get injured or something? Smith injured his neck, but is it Elliott? Did Elliott? Let me see what Ezekiel Elliott got injured or something. This is wild. I never thought I'd see the day where Ezekiel Elliott posts numbers like that. Cowboys. Something happened to him. Had to. Nope. Ezekiel Elliott, Cowboys hit wall in Broncos blowout. And Denver Broncos stifle Ezekiel Elliott, crush Dallas Cowboys. All of this points to scheme. The simple fact of the matter, scheme. So let's go back up and see what happened. I'm gonna go over here and then enlarge it a bit and find out what the deal was. I'm gonna wait for this to play. Got this dang on lizard commercial. I'm not talking about which lizard I'm talking about, doggone it. Geico. Okay, that's the Cowboys defense. And wow. You know what? I can see one thing on the Broncos. On their passes, the offensive line, when they release to throw, I'll tell you what, they don't give, how do I say this? When the Broncos block, they don't give ground on passes, on play action. They just stand right up there and hit you. They play a different kind of, and a more Pittsburgh Steelers kind of aggressive fight block. Wow. Yeah, they don't. And even with the vertical set means you're standing up and blocking. It's the same thing. They push out and block you. They've really got a new technique that they're using in terms of blocking. And not new to college. A lot of colleges have employed that approach. that the Broncos are using. They're talking about the stand-up vertical set run blocking. But this is the first time I've seen it done like in the NFL. I was trying to explain this to Jason Garrett 2 years ago, and he wasn't really getting it. Now, they use a standard, when they pass deep, they do give ground, but also the quarterback drops back deep. So they've got a really well thought out offense in terms of what their offensive line does with respect to what, on a play with respect to what their receivers and running backs are doing, all right? And I like watching this, and I really do. This is a well-structured system. This is a well-structured system. And I got to say, this is a system that's going to give the Raiders some problems. And it will give the Raiders some problems because the Raiders are not really great at making sure they're covered in space. In other words, chasing sideline to sideline, or dealing with up the middle run blocking like I'm seeing here. This, again, I can't show you this because if I do, the live stream NFL will say, oh, it's a copyright violation and all that, and I'm tired of dealing with that situation. Fortunately, I haven't had it happen a lot, but let me put it on the other hand, once is enough, okay? You spend weeks trying to get your situation where you can actually do a live stream, and that's the extreme that can happen, all right? So I'm going to make a separate video. But you know what, though? Wait a minute. What can I do here? I can do this as a news commentary, but I just can't show you straight through. Let me do that. Hold on a second. Let me show you something. Right here. This is the Broncos right here. And look at, I want you to pay attention to everything from, in particular, how they line up. Look, this is the ball, okay? Normal offenses will put their receivers on the numbers here and here. The ball is in the center of the field. So normally you'd have a receiver here on the numbers, and like in trips like this, you have the receiver here and then here and then here, tighter. The Broncos use the entire field. You see that? Well, not entire field, but more accurately, 1 yard outside the number in either case. So what they're trying to do here is spread the defense. And that, in a sense, opens holes, all right? Now, something else to pay attention to. Look carefully. When you're looking at, it's hard to tell from a telephoto lens, but you can tell from where the hashtags are here and here. And the Broncos have some wider than usual line spacing, all right? There, okay? Just by a little bit. And overall, the whole point is to open holes. Now, what do they do with it? In this case, they throw. Now, they quickly and immediately engage when they can the line person here, all right? See that? All right? And you see they keep their hands up, and they fight. They do that fight blocking, all right? And he gets his holes. You see that? This is something to behold. Look at this. It's like a little bitty, internal screen pass. Boom. All right? But what I like about this is that the Broncos linemen got their hands out and they're ready to push you. I like that. Okay. So I'm going to dissect this more later, but I can get an idea of what happened with the Cowboys. The Cowboys ran into a team that pays a great deal of attention to offensive line blocking, formation, spacing. And they have a clear approach. They really do. So it's 10:48 right now, and I started about 9:30. So I'm going to No, there says Bulls. John Mark says Hugh Jackson of Cleveland Hash Browns. You guys are funny. Justin Law says, I think Denver starting left tackle had a bad injury. Let me. You want me to check on that? I'll check on that. All right. Let's see here. Denver Broncos. Depth chart. Starting left tackle. There. Denver Broncos news. Yeah, Garrett Bowles. First round pick. Man, I interviewed. Rookie starting. He left the game. He was injured on a run play, according to the Denver Post about 5 hours ago. And Bowles, who actually is a father of a darling baby boy, who I met at the NFL draft, he was carted off the field. Oh, that's you hate to read that because Bowles is a man who just came into the league, okay, and you root for him. You really do. You root for him. Let me show you what I'm talking about. Bowles. Garrett Bowles' baby boy is named Kingston. And Kingston got the experience of his very, very young life when his dad was drafted, okay? And you got to see this. And I want you to think about this in the context of this man being injured because, this is his future. This is the young, soon-to-be, well, in a few years, young man that carries his name, well, last name, all right? Here. There's Garrett Bowles before he was named Denver Broncos, starter. And,
folks, Garrett Bowles, you're actually wearing Raider colors. Introduce your kid.
This is Kingston. It's my little man right here, 4 months old. Kingston. One day he's going to be walking the red carpet, so look out for him, man.
How has this process been for you?
It's been a surreal moment, man. This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, like I've said, and over again, and this is just, man, this is special. Words can't describe this night. I can't wait for my name to be called.
When's he gonna? We're gonna take him when you get called.
Hey, I don't know. I'm still debating that. We'll see what happens. If not, he'll sit back with mom, and I'll see him when I'm done.
He's handling this so well. This is impressive.
Listen, he's a mellow child. He got it from my wife, so
wow.
I outkicked my coverage big time. So we'll see what happens.
Hey, congratulations,
Thank
sir.
you, my man. Appreciate it.
This is a big time for you, man. No.
Yeah, so that's Garrett Bowles. That's Garrett Bowles, and little Kingston is his life, and I know he's got to be thinking, you know what? Wow, I got to get better for my kid. And that was this year at the NFL draft in Philadelphia. Excuse me. That's sad. That's really sad. That just burns me up. That's sad. Hey, got Marshawn getting down, dancing, man. Oh, this is great. Take a look. This is on the NFL Network. Look at this. See that? Marshawn, man. He was laying out and showing out. I love it. That was a great day to be a Raider fan. It just was. No two ways about it. Yeah, yeah. And Cam Robinson, what? Wow. Joseph Bismuth says, love the dancing. Yeah, no, that was something. The Raider Nation was eating it up. Rick Rice says, Carson Palmer's out of juice. Broken ankle? Well, Garrett Bowles, no, now. No. Oh, no. Man. No. That's bad. Cam Robinson. You mean Cam Robinson? Let's see here. Cam Robinson. No. Rick Rice, Cam Robinson is not a quarterback. Cam Robinson is the offensive tackle for the Alabama Crimson Tide, who was drafted by the Jacksonville Jaguars. The Jaguars lost today in terms of how they did, in terms of sacks, let's check it out. Let's see what happened to the Jaguars versus the Tennessee Titans. 37-16. Let's go back to the sacks. See what the deal was. We had Marcus Mariota had a good day. 15 of 27. 215, 1 touchdown. I mean, it was an okay day. Nothing spectacular. The person who had the day was Derrick Henry. Remember him, Alabama? Derrick Henry, 14 for 92 yards, 6.6 yard average, 1 touchdown. Followed by 9 carries by DeMarco Murray for an extra 25 yards, 2.8 yard average, though, no touchdowns. Let's see here. We got Blake Bortles threw 2 interceptions. He was 20 of 34 for 233, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions. That tells you everything. Leonard Fournette was held to 40 yards. And let's see here. Let's go to net passing and see what happens here. Net yards, 310. And average game per pass play was 5.1 versus 6.1 for the Titans. And only 2 sacks. 2 sacks for 12 yards and losses. That's it. So we've got 2 fumbles. They lost 1. So they had 3 turnovers. This is a turnover issue. And the Jaguars turned the ball over 3 times. Twice by interceptions and once by a fumble. They fumbled twice. Recovered 1. So there you go. That's what happened. It wasn't... that's what happened. All right. Turnovers. It wasn't Cam Robinson or anything like that. So, that was the problem. Now, John Marks, Raiders scalp Redskins 34-17 next game. Raiders scalp Redskins. That's hilarious. And Leo, how are you? Leo says B. Folks, it's 10:56, almost 11 o'clock. I am going to go to sleep. I am exhausted. There's no 2 ways to put it. I'm exhausted over a very busy week end, as you know. And thank you for following all of my live streams. And on the way out, if you would invest, please. I'll be on a special live stream from the airport tomorrow because I'm going back to Georgia. All right. Thank you all very much. Hey, thank you, John Marks, for saying great job. Not one of my better shows, but, I'll be back and have more interesting stuff. But I really need the rest tonight, as you can tell by the whole vitamin C thing that Rick Rice suggested. I need that. And so, okay. So, that is absolutely the case. Let's see here. Let's see here. I don't know what this is going on here. Okay, hide that one. Good night, everybody. Good night. Good night. Thank you. Thank you. All right. Thank you. And as Jan Mark says, you can bet your last money it's all going to be a stone gas, honey. I'm Zennie Abraham, Zennie62 Live. All right, I'll see you all later. Good night. Good night, everybody. See ya.